Today I'm going to share a little of my story and about the work that I do. But it's also about a new breed of global Africans with one foot planted in a rich cultural history and the other in the eclectic future of a broader world. My parents were missionaries, translating the Toposo language into the Bible in southern Sudan. I grew up mixing the life of American Christian values of optimism and hard work with those of a childhood spent in the African bush and urban centers, learning about community, loyalty, and patience. So I'm born of two cultures, yet not of either, and it's this dichotomy that colors my worldview. It is what allows me to blossom with unbridled hope as I focus in and bridge the worlds of technology, Africa, and the West. It is what lets me stare into the face of abject poverty and inexcusable mismanagement and see innovation, change, and hope brewing. It is what makes me realize that all the negative things that the world says about Africa can be both our greatest challenge and that which will allow us to challenge the great. One such example is Ushahidi, the organization that I co-founded with a number of other Kenyans. It was born out of the turbulence that ripped apart the fabric of society in Kenya earlier this year in the wake of a botched election. In the midst of the madness and destruction, we quickly deployed a website that gave every Kenyan a voice. Using their phone or the internet, they could report incidents of violence or peace happening around them. Ushahidi, which means testimony in Swahili, was a way to tell their stories when the media was silent or elsewhere, a means to tell the world what was happening. The crisis in Kenya is now over, yet the need for a platform that others can rapidly deploy in times of emergency or disaster remains. We have visions of liberating information and providing a tool that makes that a reality. We are now building a global platform for just this purpose, a free and open source system that spreads and grows in usefulness as it is deployed around the world. A tool that can help detect new crises before they happen, that empowers ordinary people to change the status quo. A tool that saves lives and speeds recovery efforts. Most of all, it's a tool that we hope will be helpful to you and your loved ones in your time of need, as we never know where or when the next disaster will strike. But we also represent something important, a new force moving across a continent pent up with potential. We are a microcosm of the next generation of Africans, who see what needs to be done and who do not flinch or tarry in meeting that need. In the many projects and hobbies that make up my life, I stand amazed as I observe the internal fortitude, rampant entrepreneurism, and open innovation found all across the continent. At AfriGadget, I'm continually surprised by stories of Africans who are bending the little they have to their will, using creativity to overcome life's challenges. There are stories of ingenuity in the rawest form, ones of reuse and recycle that put all of us to shame, and of artists somehow finding time and resources to fulfill their dreams. AfriGadget is chock full of stories like that of William Kapkwamba, who created a windmill from bicycle parts and mabati roofing, of Philip Isohe, who creates amazing working model airplanes as a hobby, and people like Dr. Ngalande, who are trying to create new ways to generate electricity in rural Africa and who understands the village life. On my personal blog, White African, I track entrepreneurs, hackers, and changemakers in digital Africa and around the world, those who are Africa's digerati dealing with the web and mobile space. Young men like Steve Mutinda, who at age 24 has already created 5 mobile phone applications with no other incentive than the basic entrepreneurism and an insatiable curiosity. It is stories of software leaders like Herman Chenery Hess that create tropically tolerant software, made specifically to work in Africa, and to become legends as they take on the titans of the mobile payment and transaction space. Know this, Africa is changing, and technology is leading this evolution. One day soon we will say, "This is made in Africa," with pride, and the world will agree with us.